Hey, I just wanted y'all to see what I'm having to do with my shoes that were ruined by the Salvation Army by keeping me in my shoes from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. day after day and then discriminating against me that I couldn't even get a cot to lay on with a broken rib because I'm a transgender woman. What they did was my shoes were wet and I was forced to wear them 14 hours a day because if you're sleeping in the halls or something, then you have to, at the Salvation Army in Lexington, Kentucky, you have to have your shoes on the whole time. They get us up. We got to have our bed made by 8. Breakfast is at 5, and we can't make our beds till 9. That's a torture technique they use for sleep deprivation here at the Salvation Army and the women's shelter. And they have 80-year-old women in there treating them like this. 4 of them on oxygen, sleeping in the halls, and having to wear their shoes 14, 15, 16 hours a day like they did me. Now, it completely ruined my shoes. It took me 4 days in a motel and 3 days trying to wash my feet at the Salvation Army, or 4 days, which they wouldn't even give me time to take a shower. They were discriminating against me so much. Now, my shoes are basically ruined. I'm soaking them in bleach, hoping that it will get the smell out somehow so they won't damage my feet. My feet are peeling off. I'll make another video. You know, I did get these shoes donated to me, and I wore them, and it stunk them up. And the ladies in my room, in my bunk, thought I wasn't even taking a shower. I had to tell them, look, I took a shower. I washed my feet. I changed socks. It has ruined my socks. I can't wear my socks. You know, I had to wash these here by hand because I was having to change my socks up to twice a day and could not get the stink out of my feet. And the skin's peeled off between my toes, very painful for 4 or 5 days, and all due to the torture techniques at the Salvation Army. Those people belong in prison. They're narcissist abusers, and I believe they poisoned me also. And it's unconscionable what they do. And I suggest you look at the January 23rd, 2020. I speak about this at the town council in Lexington, Kentucky. It's only due to the mayor that I was able to get out of there, or they would have thrown me out right into the streets. And the day the mayor had to send someone over there who is Polly Ruddock, who is with the homeless prevention project and works for the government here in Lexington, Kentucky. If they hadn't got me this motel room, you know, I don't know what I'd be doing. And I went to the New Vista, and even a guy at the Nest, or a woman at the Nest today, told me, you have to do what it takes to get by. I said, you're crazy. And this guy at the New Vista also told me that, you know, um, just do what you have to do to get by. Let me tell you, if I'd listened to idiots like that, I would literally be in the street tonight, probably for the last 4 nights. And these condescending attitudes and this get by wishy-washy crap is the reason the women over there are completely terrorized. Not a one of them is willing to file any type of grievance, anything. In fact, I was denied access to the grievance process by 3 different staff members there. Now, when Miss Ruddock came and offered to get me out of there, they tried to put me into all the places that I had already told them were not acceptable for one reason or another. Because one of the shelters here, they call it Crack Action Agency. That's the name the homeless use for it. But it's a Catholic Action Agency. It's just a hellhole. I was armed robbed by meth freaks out of that place. And if you don't kowtow to the Salvation Army's cult of terrorism, which they call is their version of Christianity, then basically you're just shit out of luck. Now, the day I was moving out, not an hour before I got out of there, They manipulated my social worker into harassing me in a public bathroom. A public bathroom. And on top of it, it had a male and female sign on it. And they make the women throw their clothes in the floor in there, and they accuse me of stealing. The secretary for the director, Miss Tracy, at the Salvation Army, she works under this horrible black witch, narcissist psychopath, who they call Miss Mary. And if you talk to any person who stayed at that Salvation Army, 80 or 90% of them are going to tell you exactly the same story or worse. In fact, I was told that by a double amputee who was in a wheelchair there. And, it's just unconscionable what they do there. The police in Lexington take it for a joke. They do not believe that some church, so-called church, would terrorize and torture people and is staffed by psychopaths. Well, I'm going to get it out there. And I suggest anyone that gives money to the Salvation Army stop, because you're financing terrorism. And it's the terrorism of your own community. And if you ever end up in one of those shelters, God help you. Literally, God help you, because there ain't going to be anybody else that will. And except for the mayor of Lexington, Kentucky, apparently. And only because I was able to get up and have the courage to go speak in town council and take all of the abuse. And I've filed something like... on the 13th, I filed complaints against abuse and discrimination against some of the staff there, and asked for an attorney, which is supposed to be one of your rights there. And instead, they just continue to discriminate against me, stalk me, terrorize me, wouldn't even give me a bed to sleep on. They use that as a punishment technique. Sleep deprivation, starvation. They didn't even have toilet paper in there for 2 or 3 days that I was there. Nothing to wash your hands with in the public bathroom. Now, they came and got me out of the public bathroom, and I kept telling them, leave me on. And then this is the day I was leaving, just an hour before I left. And then Miss Tracy, who works for that dog, Miss Mary, came and told me, accused me of stealing. Well, there was a bit of an argument, and I said, well, if you got any evidence, call 911 and have me arrested. And she said, well, we could do that, and I consider that terroristic threatening also. And they manipulated my social worker into doing the harassment for them. So my idea is probably I'm going to have to file harassment charges on her and discrimination, because it's all on tape. And I'll let you all know how that works out, because, I've gone to the police with numerous cases here, and they are discriminatory against anyone who doesn't have money or look like they belong to their idea or whatever the hell that is of society, which basically I call that having your head up your ass. And I love you all. I'm angry about this somewhat. I mean, I've been through absolute hell for almost a month anyway, but I'm here at the microtel, which that is paid for, and now I'm being discriminated against here too. And it's just but now that I'm doing my shoes, I'll make that in another tape. And I love you all. Bless you. Namaste. I love you.